Today's take-home project is going to be all about the art word of texture. Texture means how an artwork feels if you were to touch it, or how something looks like it feels in an artwork. One type of texture is called real texture. That's the kind of texture that you can actually walk up to and feel. Is it fuzzy? Is it soft? Is it fluffy? The other kind of texture is called implied texture. And that's the type that doesn't feel how it looks. The artist tricks your eye into thinking it feels a certain way. We're going to use both real and implied texture today. We're going to be making ice cream today. It's going to be so fun. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a white piece of paper. That's where your ice cream is going to go. Yes, ice cream. Then you're going to need a brown piece of paper. That part is going to be where we put implied texture and we cut the cone out of it. To make the ice cream part with real texture, you're going to need shaving cream, glue, and the primary colors in food coloring. That's going to make a really squishy, fun ice cream texture up top. Let's start with some implied texture though. We're going to make this waffle cone with a triangle, a large triangle, a triangle that fits in the whole paper. It fills it all up. Now you're going to want to draw this triangle with pencil first and then trace it with Sharpie. The only reason I started with Sharpie right away was so that you could see my triangle better with this camera. You use pencil first, then Sharpie, please. Okay, now it's time to trick your eye with some lines. We're going to draw some diagonal lines going all across the triangle, and then we're going to add some crisscross lines in the other direction. These crisscross lines will trick your eye into thinking that that is a real waffle cone, that it has that waffly texture on the side of it, that you and I both know we just drew that with lines. That's called implied texture. Now it's time to cut this cone out. Awesome, our cone is ready to glue onto the background. And you're going to want to glue the cone very close to the bottom and in the middle of that white paper, because you want lots of room to put lots of ice cream up top. Before you use your glue to make the ice cream, you're going to want to use it to glue the cone down. Here's a tip for glue on your hands. Just rub them together and the glue will kind of roll right off. I like to pretend I'm washing my hands under an imaginary sink. And also, another thing about this glue is that it dries clear. So if you got it somewhere you don't want it, it's not really a problem. Let's make some real texture ice cream now. This is very, very messy, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you're wearing clothes that you don't mind getting dirty, and also make sure you work in a space that you don't mind getting dirty either. It can be very, very messy. Let's talk about those primary colors one more time. They are red, yellow, and blue. You can't mix any other colors to make those. You use just those, or you mix them to make all the other colors. Yellow and blue makes green. Red and blue makes purple. And lastly, red and yellow makes orange. Okay, step 1 is to fill the bowl with shaving cream. You're going to want to point the nozzle down towards the inside of the bowl and then press the button on top. You might have to change the angle of the bottle to get the shaving cream out. Don't go overboard with this, just fill up the bowl and stop yourself. I know it's very fun. Next, to make sure that it stays fluffy after we paint with it, we are going to add about a half bottle of glue. So take the whole cap off of your glue bottle now and give it 2 good squeezes to get plenty of glue on there. This isn't an exact science. It most likely is going to work if you combine shaving cream and glue. Don't worry about the measurements too much. Then you're going to take your spoon and thoroughly, that means all the way, mix it up. See how I'm holding the bowl with one hand while I stir with the other? I think that's a good idea. And don't stop stirring early. This part is very important to make sure that your mixture is nice and even. Told you it was messy. Usually, unless it falls on the carpet or something, you can just wipe it right up with like a wet paper towel or a wet rag. So I'm not too worried about that. And now it is time to add your color. I have decided to use yellow and red to make an orange sherbet looking ice cream. Now, you can always add more food coloring later if it's not enough, but you can never take food coloring back. So I suggest starting with 4 drops of your colors. Whatever colors you choose to mix together, I suggest starting with 4 and seeing what it looks like. If it's not bright enough or dark enough, well, you can always add some more drops. Add them slowly so that you don't overdo it and waste food coloring. Oh my gosh, it's so fun to play with. I just want to put my hands in there and just squish it. But I'm not going to because that'll make everything crazy messy. Oh well. I also decided that this orange is not bright enough, so I'm going to add another 4 to 5 drops of food coloring and see what happens. I'm sure this will be enough this time. Hey, maybe if you ask your mom or dad, you could actually play with this with your hands. I don't know. Ask them, see if you can. I mean, I want you to have fun. But yeah, that color is perfect. Now I'm going to clean my area a little bit and get ready to plop it right on the paper and make it into an ice cream shape. Okay. Here we go. Again, if your parents let you, you can try to do this with your hands, but I think I'll make a neater ice cream stack if I use the spoon. So just listen to your parents on this one. I'm going to take a scoop. Oh, it's so fun. A scoop of this beautiful, soft, ice cream-like shaving cream. And I'm just going to plop it right on the paper, just like I'm plopping it in my cone. And I can always use the back of the spoon to make it rounder, make it pointy on top. I can make it however I want it. Ooh, looking good. The amazing thing about this shaving cream glue paint that we just made is that when it dries, it stays poofy. It doesn't fall off or stick to your hands. It feels like a pillow. It's so cool. It just takes a really long time to dry, and it's pretty heavy. So when you carry this around, you're going to want to put your hand right under that heavy, heavy ice cream until it dries. It's probably going to take a good 24 hours or a whole day to totally dry, so just be patient. Hey, I have some leftover goop. I'm going to make something else with it. You have an extra piece of paper in your take-home packet. You could make another dessert with your extra stuff. Maybe you could make something like a cupcake.